Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is First Impressions Friday and we have a new set of pencils I purchased last week on sale. They were on the flash deal. Um, you could only purchase one per customer, and as you all know, Artisto has a watercolor set that comes in a really pretty teal box, and they're absolutely beautiful. A friend of mine has a set and they are just gorgeous. So when I saw that they actually had a set of colored pencils as well, I just had to have them. I did not need another set of pencils. However, I don't have this brand. So need is such a big word. There's 72 pencils in here. They're rich, vibrant colors, blendable, soft leads. I do not know if they are an oil base or a wax base. Let's see if it says here anywhere. Um, it is a 4mm lead, that's what I thought. But it does not say anywhere on here what their composition is. Just that they're smooth, velvety, and all that fun stuff. So let's take a look at the pencils themselves. So as you can see, the pencils are a hexagonal. Let's grab one that you can actually see. I'm going to switch it over to the close-up camera here. So they're a hexagonal pencil. They do have the name and a number on the pencil. It says Premium Soft Artisto. When you get them, they are very roughly sharpened. So I will be going through and sharpening these before I do the testing and coloring of them. I have swatched them in the condition that they came, as I always do, to make sure that they are swatchable or colorable straight out of the box. At the top of your box and on the back of your box, you do have a color swatch chart that tells you the colors, the names, the numbers. I did not like the way that this was laid out in color format, so I have gone through and rearranged them in color format that I prefer. So going from white to gray, well, to the metallics. All right, so I have already swatched these, so I will run the swatch, and while you're watching the swatch, I will sharpen up some of these and we can do the testing and that sort of thing. And then we'll color with them on the test sheet a little bit and see how they do. Like I said, it is a 72 set, which is a smaller set, but you really don't need a whole lot more than that. It does come in this lovely box, which is a hinged lid, which can become annoying at times. They are a 2020. I don't think they came out in 2020. They do have a website. I'll have to go and look at that after. I didn't realize that there was a website. It is an American company, designed in the USA, manufactured in China. And what else? What other information do we have on here? They're non-toxic. And it says this product plants one tree. Okay, so each product that you purchase plants a tree. That's cool. All right, so I will switch you on over to the swatch. Grab your cup of coffee, sit back. It's going to be a couple of minutes, and then we'll go over the swatch, look at the colors and the amount of differences between the colors, and then we will play with the pencils themselves. All right, guys, I will be right back. It's swatch time. All right, so that wasn't so bad. So I have gone through and sharpened three of the pencils, the red, yellow, and blue. Now they sharpen very nicely to a very, very, very fine point with my electric sharpener. Now the one thing I will say with doing the swatch for these is I did find that there is a coating on the pencils. So if you don't sharpen your pencils first, you may find that the very first coloring that you do with these is going to be very lackluster, I guess, or it'll just feel strange. So um, this is one of those sets that you do need to sharpen before you do your swatch or before you do your coloring if you don't swatch. The reason why I do it before I sharpen is so that I can tell whether or not A, that they're usable straight out of the box, like most companies do claim when they are pre-sharpened. B, to see if there is a coating on them. If there is a coating on them, then they don't color as well straight out of the box, and you find that it feels sticky when you first start coloring. So definitely has a coating on it from what I have experienced. I would suggest sharpening straight out of the box, but and I know that a lot of people suggest that with every set of pencils. I always do my swatch without doing that first because of the factor of companies claiming to be able to do beautiful works straight out of the box because they're pre-sharpened. I'm going to take a look at the swatch chart here. Now, as you can see, we've got our white here. It's not as thin as others. You can definitely see the white, but unfortunately you can definitely see the black behind it as well. I didn't find that any of these were scratchy. The coating that is on it did make them feel a bit sticky when you first started out. So when I first started coloring with each pencil, it felt like it was sticking to the page. So we have our yellows into our oranges, and then into our skin tones, our peach tones, then into our red oranges and our reds. Then we have our pinks, our purples, from our pink purples to our purples, to our blues, into our blue greens and green blues. So there's two different types of aquatic colors. There's blue greens and there's green blues. So when a pencil looks more blue than green, like for example, this is a green blue, green blue. This one here should be up here. It's a blue green. So you can definitely tell the undertone. This one here is definitely a green blue. And then we go into our greens. So we've got our olive greens and our pine greens, our deeper greens. And then going into our medium greens, into our light greens. And then we've got our browns. So we've got our tanny tones here, into our brown tones, into our red brown tones, and then into our dark brown tones. And then we've got a couple of different grays and a black. And then we have three metallics. So we've got steel, ecru, and walnut. Now these two here I would say are a gold tone. I'm not sure why they named them that. Now on my swatch chart I don't have the numbers on it. I do have the names. And I haven't changed or circled any of the yeses because like I said, none of them were really scratchy. They were definitely more of a sticky consistency due to the coating that's on them. So as I said, I have sharpened these, and as you can see, they are sharpened very well. There's no tearing in the wood. I did use an electric sharpener, and it did quite well on the leads as well. All right, so let's do our water test. I'm going to grab my water brush here. We've got one with some water in it. And we're going to move the pencils over a little bit. There we go. So let's do our water test. Let's start with our red. Now when I lay these down, they do feel like they are a wax pencil. They do feel like they're a very smushy kind of pencil. The leads, as you can see, are quite soft and do, if you put pressure on them, do actually bend. They don't crumble or anything like that. They just kind of bend a little. And they wear down very quickly if you put pressure on them. Just putting enough pressure just to put that color down and build it up a little. Because of course we use our water products like our stickles and our glitter gel pens and all that sort of stuff, our glitter paint, after we have finished coloring. Now I will always I'll let you know that most pencil products, especially the deeper colors like the reds, the blues, the yellows, are going to move with water if you scrub it. So if you are going to literally scrub paint an entire picture over top of something that you've already colored, I strongly suggest that you seal it first, either with your blender pencil or with a proper colored pencil sealant before you paint over it. If you're just going to use some gel pen or some stickles or a little bit of glitter paint like Wink Estella or the Spectrum Noir glitter pens, that sort of thing, then I suggest that you check your media first. Excuse me. If you find that it moves with water, definitely go over it with your blender and seal it in. The Caran d'Ache blender is really good for sealing and making it pretty water resistant. I won't say waterproof, but it does make it pretty water resistant. Of course, test all of your areas before doing so. Sorry about that. I got a tickle in my throat. Now I sharpened this one after I sharpened my blue one, and as you can see, the sharpener has put a bit of blue in the lead. So there might be a streak of blue, and I can see that it's from the sharpener because it's on the stop for the sharpen. And it doesn't seem to be affecting it, so that's good. It's another thing you need to watch for with sharpeners, with electric sharpeners. They do get gummed up with colors and that sort of thing, especially with soft colored pencils. So make sure that you keep your sharpener blade nice and clean. So I've got my water brush here, and it is not soaking wet. It does have a little bit of water on it, as you can see there. I did squeeze one bit of water through. I'm going to just dab that. And then we're just going to bring it up over top. I'm not going to scrub it. I'm just going to wipe over very, very gently, the same way I would if I was putting on some glitter. And as you can see, it's not moving. So I do believe that these are fairly water resistant, which is awesome. Now I'm just going to dab that and make sure that it's fairly dry before I start rubbing my hand on it. So it did not move with water, so that is definitely a check mark there. Now let's try this smudge. So again, another thing that we do when we're coloring is we drag our hand across an area that we're finished coloring, moving it on to the next area as we place our hand on the page. To color, we end up dragging color from another area into our page, which is called smudging. Now, the reason why I do a smudge test is because I have ruined so many pictures by not checking the whether or not they move with the oils of my hand or with the movement of my hand, and ended up dragging deep deep colors from one area to another that I didn't want to have that deep color on. And with doing that, it wasn't something that was easily erased or easily removed, because I didn't notice it right away and kept on going back and forth with my hand, which of course smeared it straight into the page. And once it's embedded into the fibers of the page, it's hard to remove. So I do the smudge test because of that, because sometimes Prismas are horrible for it. Sometimes you will have a pencil that will move with your hand. So if you do have a pencil that moves with your hand, again, the best way to eliminate that movement is with a blender pencil that will seal that color in. Again, the Caran d'Ache Bright Stick, the wax content in that is fantastic, and it actually will seal the area, removing the possibility of smudging or water movement with your pencils. So if you do have a set of pencils that does move when you run your hand over them, or does move with water, make sure that you do either use a pencil. I think there's one by, oh, now I can't remember the name of the company. But there's several different companies out there that put out a colored pencil sealant. I just use my Caran d'Ache. That's all I use. All right, so my hand is clean. So it does move a little bit. The red, you can see that is smudging up a little. Same with the blue. Yellow, not so much. The ones that you need to worry about, of course, are the red and the blue. So they do move a little bit. So I would definitely suggest sealing the area before you go in and start moving your hand around hard. Like I'm rubbing really hard. I'm not being gentle at all. And it's not moving enough that um, if you go over it gently, but if you rub it really hard, it's going to move. So be careful of that. If you're just rubbing your hand back and forth, you may not find any movement, but I personally, just knowing that they move a little bit, I personally would seal that. All right, so let's start with our rainbow blend here. So rainbow starts with red, and again, I can strong arm these because they do feel like a wax based. I can't guarantee that they are, but they do feel like a wax base, so I could strong arm this into putting down the color quickly. The only problem with doing that when you're trying to blend colors together to create a secondary color, is the fact that you're using up all the tooth of the paper. So you have nothing for that second color to come into to create that secondary color. So I've got the red down. Now we're going to add the yellow. As you can see, I left a tail here for the yellow to come into. And that's where our orange is going to be created. I'm going to leave a tail here for the blue. And I'm going to concentrate on the red area here, creating that orange. Just going to fill in any gaps. So as you can see, it is creating that orange color with mixing the yellow and the red. Just going to move it around a little bit here with the yellow, just to fill that white spot. So it does create the orange, which is fantastic. Now let's see if it'll create a green. With the blue. So it is creating a green, which is great. So I'm just going to add a little bit more yellow here just to clean that up and fill in all of the gaps. So it does definitely give you a ability to blend colors together to create a new color, which is awesome. All right, so now we're going to grab some pencils in here that are close to the same color family or colors so that we can do a blend. So let's do an orange blend this time. Usually we do a pink blend, but let's do an orange blend. Let's do an orange blend with the ability to hang out for the, just make sure I have the right ones here. Carrot. Yeah, those three will do good. So I'm just going to sharpen them. I love this sharpener. It just pulls it in, sucks it, sharpens it up, spits it all out. It's awesome. Now these are a 4mm core, so it is a thicker core. So if you are looking for a thinner core pencil or a detail, heavy detail pencil, then remember to sharpen it to a good sharp point. All right, so this one is Carrot, and it's our lightest orange. Again, I'm not going to strong arm it because I want the tooth to build that color into. Now you can build color with both oil-based or wax-based pencils. The difference between them is that a wax-based pencil, you can easily just smush them together and they'll basically blend together without any problems, if the tooth of the paper will allow you to do that. Alright, so there is our carrot. Now we're going to go in with orange. No, Japanese sunset, I think. Hold on a sec. No, we want orange first. So that's this one. So now we're going to go in with the orange. And basically what we're trying to accomplish here is a continual blend without any harsh lines. So you can see the progression of color moving up or down depending upon which way we go, but you don't see a harsh line between them. Alright, so now I'm going to take the lighter and I'm just going to blend it into, I'm taking the carrot and I'm blending it into the orange. Just making sure I have the same consistency between the colors. Now we're going to take the Japanese sunset and we're going to blend it into the orange. Seems that my paper got a little wet there, so it's not picking up the color very well. Now we're going to take our orange and we're going to fill it in. And we're going to blend that Japanese sunset right into the orange color, like so. I'm just going to straighten this out. So as you can see, we've got our light, our medium, and our red. So it does progress. You can blend them together without having any harsh line. There is a bit of a line here, but it's easily blended in. So as you can see, I can blend that in and stretch that out into that carrot color, like so. And it blends that line right out. So definitely able to do a 3-color blend in this set. There is several different 3-color blends available, or progressive blends if you want to call them that. So that is not a problem at all. So I'm just going to put these back in here so it starts carrot orange and then sunset. Put those back in the case here. Now for our blender one, let's grab some ready colors here. Just going to sharpen these up. So I have 3 different colors of red here. So I've got raspberry, imperial red, and strawberry jam. Just making sure that the sharpener doesn't break the pencil. Because sometimes it can be a little harsh on the lid. Alright, so we're going to start with our lightest color, which is our raspberry. Now remember, with a blender you need to have enough color on the page for the blender to move. So make sure that most of your white spot is covered. Now this is one that I could easily just strong arm it, so I'm just going to put some weight on it. Got something behind the... I had something behind the paper. So I'm just going to put some pressure on it and just press it into the page. So I've got a full coverage there of the raspberry. Now we're going to put down the imperial red right next to it. I'm not going to try to blend these together with the color itself, but I will put it right next to each other. And I am putting some pressure on it. Just making sure all of the white spot is covered up. And then we have the strawberry jam. And as you can probably see, there's little crumbles on the page from putting the pressure down. So if you are going to put pressure on your pencils and you're going to be heavy-handed with it, with these pencils anyway, you are going to get some crumbles. Now, I do know that there are many different pencils out there that you can be very heavy-handed with, and they don't have too many issues. However, I have not seen one yet that doesn't give you those crumbles. All right, now we're going to take our Caran d'Ache blender, and we're going to start in the lightest color, and we're going to blend this together. And then we're going to bring it down into the next color and blend that together. And then bring it down into the next color and blend that together. Blending those colors together and eliminating any harsh lines. So it definitely does blend colors together. Now if I was to leave a tail, those separations would not have been there as much as they are. All right, so definitely works well with the blender. Now let's do a white test. So let's do some pinks, just because we haven't done pink yet. So we've got a light, medium, and dark pink here. Now one of the reasons why I'm choosing pink, other than the fact that I haven't used pink yet, is because pink does have a good amount of white in it already. And it's a color that I don't mind being washed out. So I'm going to be using the white to blend these together, and with using a white pencil to blend, you will find that you will end up washing those colors out. Again, I'm going to use a fairly heavy hand just to put the color down as thick as possible. And make sure that I can get a really good coverage. Now this one I am going to put a bit of a tail, just so that the next color has something to blend into, because white is going to change the color of it a little bit. All right, just going to put that nice and heavy right down to the very edge there. And then the same with the last one here. So I used, let's see, I used pink, hot pink, and watermelon. I should have used watermelon in the middle. But that's okay. So as you can see, there's three distinctly different colors there. And we're going to take our white pencil and we're just going to blend them all together. And we're also going to blend out any white spot that is still there. Now, as you can see, it does change the color of the pencil that you have laid down. So if you are doing this with a light color, you're perfectly fine. If you're going to do this with a dark color, you are going to lighten that color quite a bit. So for example, if I was to do it on this one here, actually it doesn't work because I've already sealed it with the wax. So if I was to do it on this one here, as you can see, the color itself gets lightened quite a bit. Same with this one. This is going to turn quite pink because of the white. Now if you're using Prismas or something that has a very opaque white pencil, you are definitely going to see a change from red to pink. All right, so definitely does blend well with the white on lighter colors. It even darker colors blends well with white, but as I said, with using a white pencil, you are going to lighten that color. Now the cost of these, when they were on sale, were very inexpensive. I do believe off on sale they were $14.26. So now that they're not on sale, they're $23.99, but there is a 20% off coupon which drops $4.80 off. So that would bring you down to approximately $20. So let's say $20. Where did I put my pen? Is what the current cost is. I had my pen. What did I? There it is. So we have $20 is the current cost. Like I said, I paid less for them because I did catch them on that deal. So there's 72 pencils at $20 for the set. Let's grab our calculator. No, not the calendar, Goofy. Darn computer. There we go. Yes, I could probably do this in my head, but yeah, I don't want to. 20 divided by 72. So it works out to approximately 28 cents per pencil. So that's not bad at all, even with the factor of them not being on sale any longer. There is a coupon that does drop about $4.80 off of the original price at the moment. So you do the decisions on that one. They're $24 without the coupon and approximately $20 with the coupon. They do well with water. They don't move. They do smudge a little bit, so we're going to take a mark off for those. They do a 3-color blend well. They do a rainbow blend. They move and blend together very nicely with the Caran d'Ache blender as well as the white. And for 28 cents, I do feel that they are budget friendly. So I think all in all, we've lost some marks for smudging. So and we've got, so I say that they are 90%. I would definitely recommend these 90% of the time. All right, so let's color a little bit with them. So we're going to take those lovely pinks that we sharpened up and some of the red too, because I like this color. So we're going to take some darks and some lights and blend them together. All right, so let's start with our lightest tone, and we're going to put down our base. Now you don't need to put down a base. You can easily put down your dark color, your medium color, and your light color and just blend them together. I'm going to zip you in just a little bit here so you can see a little bit better of what I'm doing. There you go. And as you can see, I'm very lightly layering this on. I'm not putting any pressure at all on the pencil. I'm barely even touching the page, and it's putting out the color very, very nicely. Like I can even hold it all the way back here so that you guys can see that I'm not putting any pressure on there at all. I just find that I have less control of the pencil when I hold it this way. And I have figured out over the years how to just lighten my touch with a little more control. Like I said, I have control issues. All right, so now we're going to go in with some Imperial Red, which is a really, really nice dark red. So if you look up here, this is the Imperial Red. It's got a bit of bright red to it, but still has that burgundy undertone, which is really nice. And this one here is folded over, so it's going to be a little bit darker all the way around. Same with this one here. This side here is up, this side is down. So I'm just going to make sure that we have a little bit of darkness in that fold. These ones here have a little fold to them, but not a heavy fold like that. So I'm using a bit of a heavier pressure, almost a light to medium pressure on the darker color. Now I am going a little bit out of order. Normally what I would do is a base coat and then talking is hard. So what I would normally do is what I'm doing is I would normally put down a light base coat, then go into my darks, and then go into my mediums. Now what most people prefer to do, of course I'm not most people, is to put down your light and then start with your medium and go into your dark. I like to have that medium tone blend out some of that dark color, creating more of a transition, more of a light to dark transition. Now we have the petal behind it here, so this area here is going to be darker where that petal is behind. And I'm just using a light to medium pressure on the blend area and just putting a little bit more pressure on areas that I want to be darker. You can definitely color with one pencil just by using a variation of dark, medium, light pressure. I personally prefer to color with multiple pencils because then I don't have to worry about how much pressure I'm putting down. It's so much easier just to pick a new color. But I do know that I can easily do that. Now again, we're going to darken this area here for the petal behind. Like so. Then we've got some folds here. And we've got a curve to the flower petal here. Same with here. That's folding up. Alright. Now we're going to go back over it with our lightest color, and we're just going to blend all of those colors together, filling in any white spot. Now if you want to have a very bright highlight area, you can definitely just go over Like for example, I'll do it on this one because it's easily seen. You can just go over the area that you have colored with your darker colors and blend those in. So this one here, I'm not going to do the light area. I'm just going to do the areas where I want that medium tone to be blended into the light tone. Like so. And that gives us that bridge of highlight there. Just eliminate any harsh lines. Like so. So that is one of the flowers done. And as you can see, it does definitely blend quite well. This is on Nina 67-pound cardstock. And it does cover very, very nicely, removing a lot of the white spot with just a light hand, which is awesome. And like I said, they do have names and numbers. So if you are a individual that does prefer to have the names and the numbers on the pencils, this is definitely one of those sets that does have that available for you. All right. And the darker color here. Like so. Now, these flowers here are a lot more clustered, so the petals are more closed. So I'm not going to use the light on it a whole lot. I'm just going to put the base down, and then if I do see an area that needs to be blended, I will put more of the light tone down to blend it. Like this petal here is going to have a little bit of a light tone on it. Alright, so this one here has a petal that comes down here behind it. So we're just going to put in our heavy tone. This is our dark. And I'm just using a really light hand, building that dark color. I don't have to do that, I just prefer to. That's because I am used to using oil-based pencils. That's what I started with, so I do find that I use a much lighter hand than I used to. Because when I first started coloring and was coloring with Crayola, I was using quite a heavy hand, and it would hurt my hand to color, and that was annoying. So when I got the first set of oil pencils that I had, it made things a whole lot different. And the very first set of wax-based pencils that I got that was artist grade was the Uni Mitsubishis. And those are a whole new bird all to themselves. So those are a synthetic wax, and I tried to use them like I would use regular wax, and that did not work well. Just saying. If you get the Uni Mitsubishis, just remember they are a synthetic wax product, and they do not react the same way that a, say, a Prisma or a um, Castle Arts or any of those work, because they are a lot harder and they do require that building of color. In my opinion and my experience, I found that I was able to use and get beautiful colors out of them the more I built the color instead of trying to just mash it into the page. And I guess that's the way as you learn, as you grow, you'll find that with a lot of different pencil sets, that sometimes just being patient and building that color up, either with just the one pencil or with several different pencils, you'll get more of a depth in your coloring. Alright, just going to take this light pink and I'm just going to fill in and blend in those colors into the light. There's not a lot of light spaces on this flower because, like I said, there's a lot of clustered petals there. Alright, so there's our pinks. So I'm going to see if I can lift off a couple of these and get some greens. Of course, the greens are the very last ones. Actually, let's see, we've got a little bit of green up in here. Yeah, let's use forest green. Let's use what we got available here. So forest green and like pine needles. No, yeah, pine needles for our dark green. So we're going to go dark green and really dark green. So we're going to start with pine needles, which is a bit of a gray green. And we're going to do the center area. And this is going to be a test to the camera because it really doesn't like gray green colors. It likes to show you the green, the gray, not the green. And of course it's showing you the gray, not the green. But that's okay because we're going to go over it with a bit of yellow and brighten up that color just a little bit when we get to the next color. Just going down the center of the leaves and spreading it out just a little bit from the center, giving that shadow of the curve of the center of the leaf. So you know how the leaves will come in and go in? So that in part is the part that I'm coloring right now. And they do spread really quickly and very, very nicely. Like I'm liking how little I have to work them to get them to the color density that I want them to be. Let's sharpen that one. Now I am going very, very lightly with this color. This is forest green and it has a nice deep green to it, but has that blue undertone, so it will be easily converted with yellow to a lighter green. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second after I get these leaves all done up. Because some of them we want the center area to be darker and the edges to be lighter. And of course, my camera is, I don't know why it really hates green. I think it's just the gray greens, the darker greens, it picks up that gray a little bit more than if I was using a bright yellow green or something. I don't know. It's really hard to see it on these small pictures as well. Now we're going to take lemon yellow and we're going to blend into those highlight areas. Creating that lighter green, maybe. To me, it looks like it's creating the lighter green. To you guys, it looks like it's just giving me yellow. But I will show you on the other screen. Let's see if we can fix it. Nope, not with that. So it's not, I don't know why it does that. It's really annoying. And I thought I had fixed it. I thought I figured it out. That's a little better. Not much, mind you, but alright. So I'm going to switch you over to the main screen here so you can see the green a little bit better. So as you can see, I have been able to take the yellow over top of the two darker greens and create that yellow green. And I think I might just switch it back over here so you can see what I'm doing. I don't know. There we go. So there we are. And of course, I will continue and go through and maybe add a little bit more color on here. But this color test in itself tells me that that they're blendable, that they are easily combined to give you the shadows and the highlights on an area, and that I can easily just take two darker colors, add a lighter color to lighten that up or create the new color. So that in itself is really, really good. That ability does give me a lot of confidence in these pencils to use them on a coloring project. Alright, so I'm going to switch you on over to the main camera here so that you can see once again these are a hexagonal pencil. They do have the color name and number as well as the company name Artisto, that they're premium and soft, and they are fairly soft. I would definitely suggest that you have a duster brush available if you are going to color with these heavy-handed. They have a great selection of colors for a 72 set. I of course prefer really big sets of colors to give me that intense range of movement. You don't need that. You may want it, but you don't need it. Just having 2 or 3 or 4 of the color family gives you the ability to do that range. So, all in all, it passed its water test, no problem at all. There was no movement of water. It did fail the smudge test because it did smudge around a little bit with the smudge test. It passed the color blend as well as the rainbow blend. It blends very nicely with the Caran d'Ache blender, but it also, the lighter colors do blend well with the white as well. They are only $20 with the coupon that's available on the site. If the coupon isn't available, they're $24. But at $20, they are only 28 cents a pencil. If you were lucky like me and got them on the flash deal, the lightning deal, for $15, congratulations. Because for that price, they're a fantastic set of pencils. Even at this price, they are a 90% set of pencils. I would definitely recommend these if asked on whether or not these would be a good set of pencils. They are a perfect complement to the wonderful collection that I have and that I have been building over the years. So there is one more into the collection. All right, guys, with that, I would like to say thank you all very much for watching. Of course, that is my first impressions of the Artisto colored pencils. And as I get to know them a little bit better, I may do a final impressions of them. But with my first impressions, I would definitely say, A, they're water resistant. They do have a little bit of a smudge problem. They do blend very nicely together, and they do have multiple areas where the colors do easily gradually blend. What else? Definitely gives you good product for the money. So it is definitely budget friendly. And yeah, all in all, so far, I would say they're definitely a very viable, very nice set of pencils. I will be using them in October on some of my colorings, so they may be the pencil of the week next month at some point. All right, guys, with that, always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you enjoy. Not only does this help us out with our own self-esteem, but it also helps us out with our YouTube analytics. And what that means is it sends the message to YouTube that you enjoy and more people enjoy our videos. The more people that enjoy our videos, the more likely they are going to send new people to view our videos, which, is always a good thing. Having new viewers is always fun. And of course, finally, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you again very soon. Until next time, bye bye for now.